Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Kamado Chris. Today we're going to make bacon wrapped jalapeno poppers. Our ingredients today are going to be, of course, jalapenos, cream cheese, some smoked paprika, bacon, regular old shredded cheddar cheese, and a little bit of salt and pepper to taste. So let's get started on making our cream cheese filling for the jalapeno poppers. All of the ingredients I'm using can be found in the video description below, so give that a read and check it out. And while you're down there, hit that subscribe button and check out some of my other videos that I've done on my Kamado Joe. To kick things off here, I have an 8-ounce package of store brand cream cheese that I've let sit out and come up to room temperature. So I'm going to pop this package open and put it right here in this mixing bowl. And to that, we're going to add 1 cup of shredded cheddar cheese, a half a teaspoon of paprika, and today I am using a smoked Spanish style paprika from Penzine Spices. I'm going to toss in a 1/4 teaspoon of salt and a few grinds of freshly ground black pepper. You can choose to mix this by hand using a spatula or a hand mixer. I am going to use the hand mixer. And that will be our filling for the jalapeno poppers, and we'll just set that off to the side. The first thing we're going to do with our jalapenos is wash them before we cut them in half and core them out. So before we do that, we're going to put on a pair of gloves, as the last thing you want to do is wash these with your bare hands while you're rubbing these all down and touch your face afterwards. So I'm going to wash these up and then we'll be back to slice these in half. Alright, now we'll just pat dry these. Now that our jalapenos are washed, we're going to go ahead and slice these in half. I've grabbed 2 bowls here. One is going to be for putting the halves into, and then the other is going to be for collecting all of the seeds and the innards that we're going to scrape out. I like to leave the stems on and try to slice right down the middle of it. I like to cut those off really. So we're just going to go right down the center and slice in half. Set those in that bowl. Do that for every single one. Alright, the next thing I'm going to do is just use a small spoon here to scoop out the insides. Just going to take a spoon, give it a little force, and scrape it out. Get all the seeds out as best you can. And depending on how much heat you like on your jalapenos, you'll want to scrape the veiny part out. If you want less heat, as the capsaicin, which is the heat producer of this jalapeno, is inside of that vein. So depending on your audience, you might want to scrape out some of that or leave it heavy, and then it'll be hotter. All right, now that we have de-seeded and deveined to a certain extent all of our jalapeno halves, we're going to fill them with our cream cheese filling. As I fill them, I am going to place them on this cookie sheet, and then we will wrap the bacon on them just after. Just going to take a scoop and pop it in. And use the back of the spoon to smooth it out. All right, and then our last and final step in preparation is going to be to bacon wrap these. So, I don't use toothpicks or anything. I just like to tightly wrap each one in a single piece of bacon and overlap it as I go. I like to use a thin cut bacon because it stretches nicely and adheres very good to the jalapeno popper half. So I usually start at the top end like this and then wrap the bacon around. All the way down to the very tip like that. And as you can see, I didn't have to use a toothpick or anything. It's nicely wrapped inside of a bacon blanket, and it'll stay nice and adhered to that jalapeno. So we're going to repeat this process for each one. Okay, now that these are all wrapped, I am going to put some saran wrap over the top of this and store this in the refrigerator overnight. And then we will be back tomorrow to cook these up on the grill. Alright everyone, it's time to prep the grill to make our bacon wrapped jalapeno poppers. I have prepared my chimney in here. I'm going to use this because I'm actually going to make some wings before I do the jalapeno poppers. So if you're interested in seeing what that's all about, check out my video on the chicken wings. So for now, I'm just going to go ahead and fire this up to get the charcoal started. So what's not shown here is that I've crumpled up some newspaper at the very bottom, and I put in a couple of my fire starter cubes at the base of the chimney. So we'll get a good airflow going here. You can see there's no charcoal at all in the base of the fire pit. So we'll get some nice airflow here, and this thing should get fired up in no time. So let's go ahead and get this thing going. Alright, I'm going to leave the lid open and let this all catch on, and we'll be back to dump it into the box when everything is lit up. Alright, so our chimney is nice and hot, and we can see that we've practically made it all the way through to the top. So I'm going to go ahead and dump this now into the firebox, and then we'll let the grill come up to temp. So we can clearly see the advantage there of using the chimney. Gives us a nice even spread of hot embers, and that's exactly what I want for cooking these chicken wings. So I'm going to pop the grill on here. We're going to close the lid, let this thing come up to 350 degrees, and we'll pop on our chicken wings before we get around to doing our bacon wrapped jalapeno poppers. Alright guys, to get this thing coming up to 350, here are my vent placements. I've got the bottom vent about maybe 2.5 inches open, and I've got the daisy wheel completely open, and I have kind of a crescent moon opening there. Try to get this thing moving on up to 350. Once it gets there, I will choke it down a little bit, and you can see how quickly the temperature gauge is increasing thanks to the chimney method that was used to start up the charcoal. Alright, my grill has settled in at around 400 degrees. It's a little bit higher than I'd like it to be, but that's okay. The grill grates are in the upright position, at the topmost position rather, so we're going to be alright. I'm going to go ahead and pop these wings on, and in due time we'll get to those jalapeno poppers. And we're about 20 minutes into our wing cook, so I'm going to go ahead and give these a flip here as the snow starts to come down. And soon enough, we'll be popping on those bacon-wrapped jalapeno poppers. All right, the chicken wings are done. I'm going to scrape the grill down here, and we're going to put in our heat deflector plates, bring the grill up to 400 degrees, and then we're going to put on our jalapeno poppers. All right, now with the heat deflectors in place, I am going to open the top vent and the bottom vent into the fully open position, kind of get this thing roaring up, and once we approach 400, I will choke it down, and then we'll be out to put on our bacon wrapped jalapeno poppers. All right. Our grill's just about ready here, so I'm going to go ahead and use a little cooking spray on the grill grates here just to prevent that bacon from sticking to the grill surface. Just a nice little even spritz there. And then we'll let that kind of cook in a bit. All right, the grill is approaching 400 degrees, so I'm gonna choke down my top vent here and just leave the daisy wheel in the open position and have my bottom grate about 2.5 inches open, and we'll watch as the temperature continues to creep up on the 400 degree mark, and we'll keep an eye on the temperature swings. We don't want this bacon to overcook and burn, obviously, so I'll do my best to keep the lid closed as much as possible for about a duration of 15 minutes or so, and I'll check on them to see how things are coming along. Alright, I've been going about 20 minutes on these, and I probably averaged around 375 on my temperature throughout that duration. A couple times I got up to 400, but I was keeping an eye on things here, and just to make sure these didn't get burned up. So I'm going to go ahead and burp the grill. And then pop this open. And I'd have to say that these are looking done. So let's pull these up off the grill and plate them up. They look absolutely amazing. Bacon looks crisp, just like we would expect them to be. Okay. Let's see if I can get you a little close up of that there. Looks good. The underside is not burnt. That's why we use the indirect cooking method. Go ahead and pan these up, and we'll take them inside, get them all wrapped up. Okay. There we have it. All right, everyone. Those are the bacon wrapped jalapeno poppers on the Kamado Joe. Thank you for taking the time to watch my video. If you'd like, please leave a comment. Let me know what you think. And I would appreciate anybody giving me a thumbs up and subscribing to my channel. Thanks for watching. Until next time.